A man named Leo gently strokes his dying pig. The animal has a deadly disease that will kill it in a few days. Leo feels sorry for it because the pig has lived its entire life in misery and pain. However, he believes he can save it with a newly developed serum. This serum can repair any damaged organ and restore full health in just 5 days. Next, Leo cleans his hands and carefully administers the serum to the pig. He expects side effects but knows he must wait patiently to see the results. Then the story shifts to 3 months earlier. Leo is still developing the serum and is determined to make a breakthrough. He picks up a machine that he believes will help him progress and takes it home. His entire house is transformed into a lab. He connects the machine to his computers and runs complex calculations. Later that night, after hours of research, he takes a sample from a special plant and mixes it with chemicals before boiling the solution. Despite all his effort, the experiment fails, and cellular regeneration is not achieved. Frustrated, Leo loses control. He tears up his calculations and breaks down crying in the kitchen. After all this time, he still cannot achieve the results he wants. A woman approaches him and tells him to get up and continue his research. She reminds him that he still needs to find the serum. Next, Leo decides to change his surroundings. He goes to a local cafe he often visits, hoping to clear his mind and find a solution. He tries his best to figure out the missing piece but has no success. Then a new waitress named Alejandra approaches his table and picks up a note from his pile of papers. She tries to start a conversation, but Leo clearly does not want to be disturbed. After finishing his meal, he gets ready to leave, but Alejandra hands him the receipt, even though he told her he did not want it. When he returns home, he gets into an argument with the woman. She accuses him of taking breaks instead of working harder to find the serum. Leo breaks down again, crying as he admits that he does not have the answer. However, the woman only scolds him and claims he does not care enough. Later that night, Leo continues his work. While searching his pockets, he finds the receipt from the cafe. When he looks closer, he notices an equation written on the back. It appears to be the solution he has been searching for. Angry and confused, he rushes back to the cafe. There, he confronts Alejandra, accusing her of looking at his work. She denies everything. As the restaurant owners start paying attention to the scene, Alejandra takes Leo outside. She warns him not to get her fired over something she knows nothing about. Before leaving, Leo tells her that he will return tomorrow. Next, Alejandra enters the house and greets her parents, Teresa and Carlos. She then goes to her room and continues working on a document. After a while, she receives a text from John, asking her to meet at their usual spot and bring the document. Once she finishes, she heads out and meets John in his car. As soon as they meet, John asks for the document, and Alejandra hands it over. It turns out she has been helping him with his work. He then slips her some money as payment and reminds her that he always thinks about their time together before leaning in to kiss her. However, Alejandra is not interested and quickly leaves the car. As she walks away, John calls out, telling her that he will contact her soon for another job. After she leaves, 2 men, Philip and Anton, enter John's car. Philip questions the quality of Alejandra's work, but John reassures him that she is a genius who can get anything done. The document she just provided is an important file from Philip's grandfather's company, which is on the verge of collapse. However, Philip does not care about saving the company. He only wants his share of the wealth, which his grandfather will only give him if he successfully manages the company during this crisis. Philip insists on meeting Alejandra to ensure he can trust her, but John assures him that she is completely reliable. Later, Alejandra returns home and finds her father on the floor, struggling to get back into his wheelchair. She immediately rushes to help him, but she is too weak to lift him on her own. Meanwhile, Philip arrives at his grandfather Gene's home. Gene is dying of heart failure and is deeply disappointed with his life. Despite building a successful company and making a fortune, he is unable to enjoy the simple pleasures of life, like eating whatever he desires. He smells the pizza Philip brought and grows frustrated, knowing that is all he can do. Then he turns to Philip and tells him that if he wants to take over the company, he needs to do better. Next, the story shifts 3 months later. The pig that received Leo's serum is on its 3rd day and is experiencing side effects. It vomits and breathes slowly, both of which are expected. Leo knows he must keep a close eye on it. Back in Alejandra's timeline, Leo arrives at Alejandra's workplace and begins talking to her. He asks her what she knows about his work. She tells him that he is trying to make plant and human stem cells interact and assures him that she has not told anyone about it. Then he asks her how she figured out the equation she wrote on his receipt. Instead of answering directly, she turns the question back on him and asks why he is working on this project. Leo explains that he is searching for a way to make human cells repair any damage in the body. Alejandra listens and then tells him that plant cells can perfectly replicate damaged tissue, but human cells are unable to do the same. She explains that simply introducing plant cells into human tissue will never work. Next, she hands him another note containing a possible solution, a translator. It is a prototype that can help plant and human cells communicate and understand each other. This way, the plant cells could guide the human cells to regenerate tissue. Leo smiles, realizing the brilliance of this idea. But he is curious. He asks her why she is giving him such valuable information. She tells him that she wants to help because this project is revolutionary. Without saying a word, Leo leaves abruptly, not even thanking her. Alejandra watches him go, wondering what he is planning. Later, Leo returns to his lab and tells the woman about Alejandra. However, the woman is not pleased. She believed this project was meant for just the two of them and does not want a stranger involved. Leo convinces her that, with Alejandra's help, they might finally find the answer they have been searching for. Then Leo goes back to the cafe and tells Alejandra to quit her job. He offers to pay her whatever she is earning as a waitress so that she can work with him full-time. Without hesitation, Alejandra agrees and leaves with him. However, they do not realize that Anton is secretly following them. After entering the lab, Alejandra is amazed by the setup. She agrees to work with Leo and then returns home for the night. The next day, Alejandra begins working with Leo in the lab. Together, they start making real progress. One day, Leo opens up to Alejandra about the woman. He tells her that he once loved her, but she was very sick. No matter what he did, he could not save her, and eventually she died. This reveals a shocking truth. The woman is not real. She is only a ghost living in Leo's mind. Meanwhile, Anton is keeping a close watch on everything. Sitting outside in his car, he monitors every move they make. Just then, Alejandra receives a text message. It says that someone important needs her brilliant mind. The sender tells her that this client is very important to him and urges her not to let him down. That night, both Alejandra and Leo are exhausted, but they push themselves to their limits, determined to finish what they started. After several failed attempts, they decide to try one final test. This time it works. Their experiment is successful. Overwhelmed with excitement or exhaustion, Alejandra collapses to the ground. Later, while recovering in bed, she hears the woman's voice in her head, warning her to leave this place as soon as possible. Startled, she wakes up. Meanwhile, Philip meets with John and demands to know why Alejandra has not responded yet. Frustrated, he warns John to find her and solve the company's crisis, or it will not end well for either of them. When Philip returns home, his grandfather is furious. He scolds Philip for failing to handle the situation and warns him that if he does not fix the problem, he will inherit nothing. That night, Alejandra returns home from Leo's lab and is shocked to find John and her sister Maria sitting with her father, Carlos. Outside, John tries to persuade her to help Philip fix the company's crisis so he can prove himself to Jean and secure his inheritance. Alejandra refuses, saying she is too busy, but John warns her that Philip and his family are ruthless and will stop at nothing. When she tries to leave, John changes his tone and threatens her, reminding her of her family's illegal immigration status. He also hints that he knows about her work with Leo and suggests she reconsider. Hearing this, Alejandra reluctantly agrees to meet with Philip and hear what he has to offer. The story then shifts 3 months ahead. The pig is now on its 4th day of recovery. It is feeling much better, and the vomiting has decreased. Though not fully healed, it is much stronger than before. Leo is hopeful that by tomorrow, it will be completely healthy. Back in the past, Alejandra meets John, and they head to Philip's place. Philip informs her that she will be working for one of his grandfather's struggling companies for 2 months and will be well paid. With no other option, she agrees. Later, she returns to Leo's lab, and they begin testing the first serum on laboratory rats. Fast forward to the present, the pig has fully recovered. On the 5th day, it is perfectly healthy. Alejandra documents everything while Leo confirms that all test results are normal. They decide to monitor the pig for the next few months, but it is clear they have successfully cured it. Now the next step is human trials. However, Anton, who has been secretly watching everything, witnesses the pig's full recovery from a distance and quickly leaves. He reports this discovery to John, who is amazed by what he hears. At the same time, John hands Anton Alejandra's completed work for Philip, explaining that Philip refused to pay her because they now want the serum instead. Anton reminds John that the serum has not been tested on humans, but John is confident it will work. However, he hesitates. Despite everything, he still loves Alejandra and does not want to betray her. John suddenly turns on Anton and tries to attack him. However, Anton overpowers him and without hesitation shoots him dead. In the morning, Anton sends Alejandra a picture of John's lifeless body. Horrified, she screams. Leo sees the image as well and immediately gets angry, demanding to know what kind of people she is involved with. Realizing the danger, he rushes to his lab, knowing that people would kill to get their hands on his work. As he panics, the woman appears, tormenting him for ever bringing a stranger into their project. However, Alejandra calms him down and finally tells him everything about John and her past. She reassures him, saying that he has fulfilled his promise to the woman by finding the cure, and that is all that matters now. At that moment, the woman begins to fade away as Leo finally lets go of his guilt for not saving her. After that, Alejandra urges him to call the police, but Leo refuses. He believes they will destroy all of his work. Instead, he tells her they must erase everything and leave. With no other option, and knowing Anton is after them, they destroy all research data in the lab, burn the papers, and prepare to escape. That night, Anton arrives at the lab with 3 men, but Leo and Alejandra are ready, dressed in full laboratory suits. As they enter, Leo fights one of them while Alejandra throws acid on another. Then Anton steps in, demanding the serum. He overpowers Leo and beats him, but before he can do more damage, Alejandra splashes acid on his face, killing him instantly. Afterward, they take the cured pig and flee with Maria. Along the way, they stop to destroy the last remaining hard drive containing the serum's formula. They throw it into the water to ensure no one else can recreate the serum. However, just as Leo is about to destroy the final vial of the serum, Alejandra stops him. She tells him she knows someone who desperately needs it. Leo hesitates, reminding her that the serum has never been tested on humans. But Alejandra is confident it will work, just as it did on the pig. She tells him her father needs the serum to survive. Leo is reluctant, knowing it is dangerous, especially since Philip might be waiting for her at home. But Alejandra convinces him, and they head to her house. When they arrive, they notice people inside and decide to use a different entrance. Alejandra rushes to her mother, Teresa, telling her she cannot explain but needs her to trust her. She turns to Carlos, assuring him that this will help him get better, and injects him with the serum. Then she hugs her parents one last time before leaving. After that, they take Maria's car and leave the city. As they drive, Leo reveals something unexpected. He has kept the formula, written on a small piece of paper, just like the note Alejandra gave him at the cafe. A few days later, the police arrive at Philip's estate. His company is in a deep crisis, and authorities are investigating. Enraged, Philip loses control and repeatedly punches his grandfather, who is already on the verge of death. Meanwhile, back at Alejandra's home, Teresa is cleaning when she suddenly notices something incredible. Carlos slowly stands up from his wheelchair. Shocked and overjoyed, she runs to embrace him. The serum has worked. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like our channel and subscribe if you enjoy content like this. Also, let us know what movie you would love us to recap for you.